Hey everybody, what is going on out there? Welcome back to the show. Today I'm going to be talking about 5 signs you're being quiet dumped by your partner according to a psychologist. That's right, a psychologist. You know, as you know, guys, I'm calling out a lot of articles here the last few weeks, and I want to do it because I want to make sure that these fucking people are not brainwashing people into believing certain conditions. I mean, the other day I was talking about cuck holding. That's right, guys. CUCK holding. HOLDING. And if you don't know what cuck holding is, check out my other previous episode. It was 2 episodes back. And cuck holding is a couple that are with each other and one of them goes off and is allowed to sleep with anybody they choose, and at the same time the other person remains 100% loyal and faithful, and more importantly, devoted to their partner. And this is even the big shot, guys. This news journalist, whatever you call this person, this is an established newspaper, and they were actually trying to tell us that cuckolding is a good idea, and they were listing out 9 benefits for it. Yeah, that's right, guys. I'm like your fucking internet dating doctor detective here, okay? I want to make sure that these assholes are not brainwashing you into believing this. And here's the thing as well. And we're going to get into the article, sorry guys, in about 2 seconds, but I just want to say one thing about this article today and all the other articles. I want to make sure that you're not getting brainwashed. And you know why? Because I know that there's a lot of people that their marriage is on the rocks, their relationship is on the rocks, they're dating somebody but they desperately want to go the next step and they don't know what to do and they're feeling that desperation. And I know what it's like to have that desperation, guys, because I've been there myself. And I want to fucking make sure that these people are not trying to brainwash you into, example, like the cuckolding, right? If you don't like cuckolding, but all of a sudden your relationship's on the rocks, you're like, well, hey, fuck it, maybe I should try this. Or your boyfriend or girlfriend or husband or wife is actually trying to convince you as well, because they read the article, that it's a good idea and it could be very beneficial. Please don't believe this horseshit. You are going for a recipe for disaster. Right? And you know, guys, I'm not saying that everybody out there is dumb, right? No. This is just desperation. This is what this comes down to. Or, if you're the one instigating this cuckolding business, you're just a selfish narcissist that's trying to have your own way. Anyway, let's get into this article, guys. And this kind of actually makes me feel a little bit more confident and better of what I'm doing. Like, you know, guys, I'm not an expert. I've never said I'm an expert. I'm not a psychologist. I study psychology. I'm fascinated by it. I love the human mind, how we all work. And I have a good idea of what I'm talking about, I would say. But this article today, quiet dumped. So what we're talking about now today is the problem and the telltale signs of your partner quietly detaching from you in your relationship. And what are the telltale signs? And this is from a psychologist. So let's start off. The subheading is, many people to come to therapy when they sense their partner is progressively detaching from them. They may say things like, I don't feel desired by my partner anymore, or my partner doesn't pay attention to me or make an effort to make me feel seen, or my partner has been so closed off lately, I feel so distant from them. Like, these are very, very understandable bullet points, right? They are. Jesus. I'm not disagreeing with this person right here. But here's what I've been saying from day one. Before we get into the bullet points, because they list out 5 bullet points and 5 signs to look out for when your partner is detaching from you, right? So in other words, it gives you more of an idea of what you should look for. But here's where this whole thing has gone wrong already. This psychologist is giving you all the stuff. And you know what the problem is? The real problem, first of all, that you've got to fix is, are you the one projecting that you don't want the relationship anymore? That's the number one thing you've got to check in with. And guys, if you follow me on social media or you've heard some of my other podcast episodes, you know I've been saying that a lot of people want a relationship out there, but they don't have the self-awareness to look at themselves. As in, do you really want a relationship? Like some people are saying, oh, I'd love a relationship and this and that. The guy's got to have this and have that and this, or the girl's got to have this and that. But here's the thing. No one is looking at the blind spot, I call it. You're the blind spot. As in, what we should all be saying is, okay, Peter, I want a relationship. Do I really want a relationship, Peter? Okay, right. What am I going to give to the other person? Am I going to be there when they're sick? Or am I going to be bored? Do I want to go out with the boys on drinking every weekend? Or do I actually want to go off for weekends away with my new girlfriend? Or if she wants a quiet night in, will I sacrifice a night out with the boys and go and be with her? More importantly, do I want to be with her? Like, these are the questions you got to ask yourself before getting into a relationship, right? It's about us. Will we be there? Will we communicate with the person in the relationship? Will we show them love even if you're having a really bad day, but yet they're having a worse day, and you'll just hang up your fucking emotional needs for now and attend to them because they're feeling worse than you? Will we do all these things? You see, this is where the psychologist is wrong, because this person is not asking what this person feels first. Because obviously when we talk about this more, guys, right? Okay, you know what? We'll go into it and we'll talk about this more now in a second. So number one, a telltale sign to look out for: decreased emotional availability. This can take the form of reduced responsiveness to the emotional needs and cues of one partner, leaving the partner unheard, disconnected, upset, and are confused. Disengagement from conflict resolution, withdrawing from confrontations or avoiding engaging in difficult but meaningful discussions, contributes to a growing divide in the relationship. Okay, now before I go on, I'm just going to pause here quickly. See, the problem here, these are all very, very good signs, right? So I'm not pissing all over the psychologist, by the way. They're forgetting the most important key factor: us. Like, this is like saying, I've got a girlfriend and I've given her a 5-liter drum of petrol, and she's got a lighter in her hand. If she ignites the petrol, it's going to go into a fire, and that is, let's say, that's the relationship over. Right? Now, what if I gave her the 5-liter drum, though? What if I gave her the match? And then I'm going to go bitch and go, oh, God, listen, hey, psychologist, I think my girlfriend's going to blow this relationship up. Like, what are the signs? Well, Peter, does she have a 5-liter drum of petrol? Yeah. Well, does she have a lighter? Yeah. Okay. Well, there you go. Oh, God. But hang on a second there, Chief. Did you give the drum to her? Because maybe, guys, subconsciously, you want out of the relationship, or you're bored, and you're looking for excuses to get out of the relationship, and you've created these paranoid signs. Right? Maybe you're the one that's not offering what you can give to the person. This is the whole point. Figure out yourself first, then delve into this. So let's move on with this article, guys. But remember this. Even if you really want the relationship, well then, hey, this psychologist is right. So these are good signs too, guys. Okay? So number 3, decreased intimacy and affection. So this is another telltale sign, guys, right? A decline in displays of affection, intimate moments, and shared experience leads to a sense of emotional and physical distance between partners. Yeah, that's true. Number 4, lack of effort in relationship maintenance. Reduced willingness to invest time, energy, and thoughtfulness into nurturing the connection leads to relationship erosion. Number 5, increased focus on selfish pursuits. Prioritizing personal goals, hobbies, and interests often go hand in hand with the isolation and disconnection that is growing in the relationship. Right, okay, so we've established these are good telltale signs. But what about yourself? What about yourself? Number 1, guys, the solution here would be, I would be taking a step back and saying, these are the questions I'd be asking myself first before I deal with the psychologist. Peter, do I really, really want to be in this relationship? Do I love her? Am I doing enough? If I do love her, am I doing enough? And then classify what is enough, guys. So in other words, let's say you're way into the relationship, but at the start you used to go to, you visited a castle back in the day, right? Or you went out for some ice cream midweek, just get out and hold hands and share an ice cream and sit on a bench, right? Did you do those type of things at the start? And if you did you love them? Right, okay. There's nothing wrong with going back to that again. Like, why not go out for your ice cream again? If things got a bit fucked, you know? The best way to deal with this, guys, is go to the things that you used to do together. Okay? Go get your ice cream. Go out for that Sunday night meal that you always used to do. Or do your Netflix night and see what happens. If that doesn't work, you gotta have a chat then. Right? Like, I would suggest even doing that, because that can just ignite the passion back in each other again. The passion that you had from day one. Right? So, number one step, self-aware. Do I, Peter, want to be in a relationship? Yes, I do. Okay. Can I give her all the stuff I want to give? Am I open to doing it all? Yes, I am. Okay. Brilliant. Let's get some passion in here. Go out for the ice cream. See what happens. If she doesn't want to go, well then, hey, that's not a good sign either. Then you go straight from, let's ignite the passion, or reignite the passion. Okay, now it's time for a chat. You know? Ask your partner, hey, listen, I'm feeling something's up with us. I feel, maybe I'm wrong, honey. I feel that you're detaching. You don't want to sit there, watch Netflix with me. You don't want to cuddle. We're not having sex anymore. Whatever it is, right? Have the conversation. And more importantly, here's the number one key in this. You ask them, am I giving you enough? Is this enough for you? Have I detached? Have I detached? That's a question you should ask them as well. Now, if they turn around and say to you, no, honey, no, it's not that at all. Well, you could even go further, because they're probably don't want to hurt your feelings. They're going to say, no, it's not, honey. No, it's not at all. So, like, if they're the partner, right? And if it's genuinely not you, well, then they need to tell you, like, ask them, hey, well, honey, look, I know we haven't gone on our ice cream sitting on a bench thing for a while. Should we do that? You know, if they don't want to say, they don't want to, okay, well then come up with another suggestion. Well, how about our Sunday night dinners? Like, why don't we do that? You know, ignite the passion, reignite the passion first. Try and do that. And if that doesn't work, well then you gotta, and I mean, guys, if this is really fucked at this stage, and you really do feel that you are doing everything you can, you've got to, and I mean like a fucking detective, analyze this to death with them. Not you, them. You've got to ask them. You've got to be like a fucking, not the tone. You don't have to come across like an investigator or detective interrogating the person, but you have to treat it like that. You know, okay, well, honey, look, we used to go out and for our nights out, we used to go for the ice cream on every Wednesday night, and it all stopped back then. Trace it back. See what happened. Try and trace it back yourself. Well, actually, do you know what, honey? Ever since that day, we never went out for ice cream again. Like, go back to the year, the month, day, week, whatever the fuck it is. Try and trace it back to where the problem started or originated from. You know? Get to the core of the problem. I mean, Jesus. If you can't communicate this with your boyfriend, girlfriend, loved one, whoever it is, that's not a good sign. Now, were they a great communicator and all of a sudden they're not? Well, then there's something really fucked, don't you think? And you have to remember, guys, you've got to be very, very open and aware that it actually could be you as well. Now, if you think you are 100% all in the relationship, brilliant. I would just keep a little bit open, because maybe you're doing something that they don't realize. I mean, guys, do you realize, like, you know, you've been in a relationship, and you know the way somebody does something that just fucking annoys you after a while, right? You kind of let it go at the start. But the problem is once you let it go, it never disappears. It doesn't. Now, there's some people that you just can't fucking talk to in your world. Okay? But if this is a relationship with a loved one, like a date, boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, this stuff needs to be addressed. This stuff needs to be seen at. Because let's say Peter and Nuala, right? We're sitting on the couch watching TV, but the way I pick my ear, I'm just giving you an example now, guys, but, I'm picking my ear in a weird way, and she hates it, and she's always let it go, but then all of a sudden, it's not such a big deal, right? It's like, oh, Jesus, Peter, what's he doing? But she's never said it to me. She doesn't want to hurt my feelings or make me feel bad. But what if there's something else that comes along that then triggers her with something else? Now there's two things that bother her about me. And eventually, all these tiny little things that we let go, by the time you're done, you'll probably have about 10 things that you find fucking irritating, because it's not about the one isolated thing, it's about the other nine other things. And fucking email's going off. It's about the 9 other things that are going off behind the one that's just bothering you now. You have to pick apart every single fucking micro detail that bothers you about the other person, vice versa. How else are you going to fucking cope? Now, believe me, guys, I get it. There's people that it's just so fucking hard to talk to. And maybe you can overlook some things. Great. But be very, very self-aware. That's all I would say. You got to be self-aware of are you providing enough for the other person? And if something bothers you, if something bothers you about the other person, you got to say it to them. You don't have to kill them. And if you don't, and if you can overlook it, well, okay then. But if it really does bother you, and let's be honest, guys, it's always the small things in life. It's the nice little kiss or hug your husband gives you when he comes in from work, and it could be just a little peck on the lips. It's not even a proper kiss. It's just like, oh, hey, baby. Right? Or he comes over, he gives you a hug when you've the kettle on. Okay? Tiny fucking things, and it can go the other way too. The bad shit, the tiny little bad fucking things get under your skin. So, guys, in closing in this episode, all I would say is this. Yes, you could be very, very right that your partner is detaching from you. And if it is, I'm sorry to hear that, guys. All right? I'm sorry. And it does suck. And maybe they just don't want to be in the relationship anymore. And it could be. Okay? Or maybe it's something that you're doing that you don't know and it's bothering them. And they don't open up to you. And it's just festering. And then they're just growing apart. Or maybe it's even deeper. Subconsciously, you want out of the relationship yourself. And you're inventing these tiny little things to bother them because subconsciously, you know that it bothers them and you're looking for them to get out of the relationship. Right? But then you project to the psychologist or all your friends, and you're telling everybody, hey, I think my wife doesn't want to be with me anymore, man. But it's actually you creating this whole thing from day one. I hope that makes sense, guys. And it doesn't mean I'm right about every fucking relationship, by the way, okay? Like I said, I'm no fucking very important about being self-aware. Get to the bottom of your head first and what you want. And that's one job, clearing the desk, as you'd say. So, guys, thanks for listening, and I'll see you again. Cheerio, guys.